What's up, everybody? A Sparrow with a Gun here from Sleepless Nights with another episode on Space Engineers. When we left off in the last episode, we had worked on some of the fixing up the last bit of the base that was still left kind of at a skeleton level, right? And I've done a lot of work on the ring so far. I've got most of the arms and the central ring area finished. I was working on this and I started to run out of steel, believe it or not. But then again, we did do a lot of building in the last episode. So I ended up trying to take the Moon Miner, or the Pogo, down for another run. And it worked. You'll notice I only have 3% hydrogen left, but I found an interesting trick, which was I basically coasted it down, because it didn't have... It has a lot of weight to it, but it's not like we have super heavy gravity. But I kind of let it lightly coast down, but then once I started drilling, I had an idea, which was, why not let gravity work? Why use my hydrogen? So I turned off my thrusters and kind of just let it bounce down the tunnel, kind of thing. Until I saw that the drills were full, and then I turned my thrusters on and just shot it back up. And it used about, as you could tell, about 5% to get back up. Obviously that'll increase the more further down that we go. But then what I ended up doing was kind of just doing some minor adjustments, which took up a bit more. Now granted, this won't, that method won't work once I start making more holes, kind of thing. It would only work as long as the entire tunnel is wrapped around the ship, kind of thing. But I'm actually planning on scrapping this eventually. It works for now, but I've had enough people telling me that I should actually do like a piston platform that's just part of the base that can extend. What I'd like to do is actually figure out a way to use projectors and welders to have it build as it goes. I just have to get better at designing that. But for now, we have a whole nother load of stone coming in, and so that should be plenty to do what we want to do. I want to work on the solar array. It's looking kind of dainty. Also is that I noticed the last episode when I looked at the batteries, they were only at like 1 pip, and the shooting star's at like 2, so I'm pretty sure nothing is really getting a super decent amount of power at this point. So I want to extend the solar array, add some more batteries, and add some more panels. And if possible, I'd also like to add the oxygen farms. And I think they're going to come up right about here-ish. And I'll probably do what I did with the solar panels, which was put a rotor with a hinge on it so that I can align them to the sun. And I did Google it. I finally Googled it just to double check my theory, and it turns out, at least back as far as 2018, and I don't think they've changed a lot of the core gameplay from that point, other than new blocks and things, but rock is not airtight. Which, yeah, I have mixed feelings on that. My initial reaction is that's dumb, but like, that's kind of dumb. But it is what it is. So we're gonna have to do some more work to actually seal this properly. Unfortunately, I really like the look of the moon rock stuff, but it's just not gonna work. So, I think what we're gonna do, and I thought about trying to preserve it and do, you know, like, try to go dig a tunnel and build it on top, and it's like, I could, but that's a lot of work, but I might. What I'm thinking, this is my current theory, is finding a spot like back here, or possibly in this room, where you're not going to see the entrance. That's kind of the theory. And I'm not sure what happened here. I have more space on this side than over here. So I feel like I miscalculated, and that might give us an... Hey, that actually gives us an in. Okay, hold up. So, we don't have any blocks on this side, right? If I close this off, it would give us access to the rest of it. That works. We can leave this. It doesn't really matter, so we can just leave that. But what I'm thinking What I'm basically thinking here, let me jump into spectator mode real quick. What I'm actually thinking of doing to preserve the visuals and make things a little bit easier is go up, like, essentially seal all the way around the border, the perimeter, bring that height up to match, but then go up a block higher than the rock level. So as you can see, the rock level's kind of at like the cargo container just below the tops of the refineries, etc. But like bring it up a couple of blocks and then seal it that way, but then have the bordering perimeter actually sealed. That's kind of the goal, the idea. It also means I need to add a window here and break that, because that part, yeah, that's relying on the rock as well. So we're gonna have to do some changes here, but I'm gonna work on this and see if I can get going what I want, and then I will come back momentarily. You know, the more I keep popping in and out of the star and coming up to the top part here, the more I'm wondering if we should put the docking port up here, and that way you would directly walk out to the main entrance of the base, and then leave that for more of the mining entrance if you needed to go out and do maintenance. Let me know what you think about that, because I'm actually really strongly considering it. But anyway, I digress. So this is going fairly well, I believe. I think it's sealed. I had to take this part out. I'll go into spectator mode here so we can see between the, behind the rock. Where am I? There I am. So I had to basically take that part out so we could put another glass pane there. I could have just done a block, but not as fun. So we could do something decorative up to, like, say, this point, but I can't go up any further. So far, I think there's only one small hole that popped up, and it was right around here, I thought. Yeah, it's right there. You can kind of see it, but not really like we're going to be looking at that too much. Now, it just occurred to me that I actually messed up one spot, and that I needed to actually do a conveyor, or at least a couple conveyors. And I don't know if they need interior plates or not, so we'll carry some of those on us as well. I left this as a little access port at the moment, but when we're finished, then we're going to seal this all back up. But I've done... it feels like an anthill in here. I've dug like 1 billion tunnels. Again, in spectator mode, it's easier to see. So as you can see that we kind of just, you know, dug around and placed everything where I needed it, and it's basically about a block above everything, so from under here nothing looks different, but according to everything I've read online, I'm really hoping I didn't do all this for nothing, but according to everything I've read online, this should fix it. I also missed a spot, it looks like. I didn't see it from here, but you'll see it from up here. That's interesting. Alright. What is that? What is that picking up right now? Must have had like some steel plates or something. Anyway, the biggest problem I had was the actual mountain. I ended up doing, I think it's along here, it's hard to tell now because I had to open it all up, but I ended up having to use the actual main drill mode, which cuts a smaller hole and goes a lot slower, but you actually get ore. I had to do that so, because every time I tried to use the right-click method, it was punching a hole out here, and it was messing up my mountain, basically, and that's just rude. Alright, so I need to find that spot that I missed. I don't know how I missed that. Yes, I do. It's because I saw this and I stopped and I didn't look... Sorry for flying through the mountain again. I didn't look right there. Okay. So let's get this opened up a little bit and let's fix this. But the bigger thing is I need to place some conveyors running up. There, that should do. Oops, wrong button. Apparently I just took a screenshot. That's not what I meant to do. Alright, so where's my refinery? I hear it, but I'm not seeing it. Where are you at? There's a refinery. I really only need one of them, and I think... Oh lord. Why is this so difficult? Okay, that's the problem. I didn't dig enough of the mountain, or the ground really, out of the way to see it. Okay, so... it's right about here. Probably follow the sound would be a good idea, but, you know, whatever. There is some steel plates floating around in here. Well, no they're not. That's particles. Never mind. Okay, so we're going to hold that and then lock in spectator mode. There we go. Some people play without spectator mode, I suppose, but I don't think I could do it. It's just very helpful for being able to navigate. It's not really so much that it's like game breaking or anything or helps that much, but it's very easy to navigate. Alright, now this is going to come up, if I can figure out where I am, there we go. So that's going to come up right about, if I line this up right, it's going to come out right about there. Actually, I can still highlight the thing, that's cool. So that's where our oxygen farms are going to come out from. I have to actually dig that. And one thing that is uber helpful, and I'm so glad that somebody finally... Actually, I'm going to save this before I do that, because if I unfortunately puncture the mountain, I don't want to mess anything up. I wonder, can I actually... I wonder if I can actually work my way up there. I don't think so. I was gonna say, I was trying to figure out if I could actually go up, while basically... Oh, is that a hole? Is that where we're at? No, that's just like a dent. Okay. Totally unrelated. Ooh, okay, let's try that. That made a weird hole. I must not be looking at the right angle, or am not properly aligned. Alright. I'm sure a lot of you are getting driven nuts by this and probably going, there's a way easier way to do this. I just haven't thought of one, so this is kind of the way I've been doing things. If I could actually remember which way the controls are oriented, though, that would be great. I think so far so good. I'm kind of trying to keep my hands still on the mouse, so I'm going pretty much straight the way that I have it aligned. And it seems to be going pretty well. So I think we're just going to keep trying to do it, and just hope that it works. Now, if I did all this correctly, I'm kind of drifting it seems, but I think we should be good. How are we looking? Pretty good. Okay. So let's build this up. Actually, you know what? I should probably weld all this before I do it, because I don't know if I can get back in here again if I don't. So there's that. But basically, what I want to do is then weld all this up. Ah, crap. I need more interior plates. Alright. It didn't quite poke through the way I wanted to, but we can fix that. Let me go grab some more materials and I will be right back. Alright, so I've got some more supplies and I've been welding this up, and I think we're good to go on this end. I just have to continue everything up for the rest of it. I don't know if I want to go a little higher or not, but I did want to also point out, I started to mention it a minute ago and got distracted, which I'm sure that's shocking to everyone. But I've also found that, I don't remember who recommended it to me, but the build mode of local grid alignment, I think that's what it's called. Come on. Oh, I hate some of the collision issues with this detection system. There. Good grief, weld it. Anyway, I'm not bitter. So for example, like this. this can be a little tricky where you're trying to place things and something's not snapping right and stuff like that. But if you hit the B key until it says locally aligned grid, it snaps as if it's a not free floating, quite the opposite, but basically that it's snapping to the grid, whether you can see it that well or not. I don't remember them adding this, but it's an amazingly cool feature that I'm really disappointed I didn't learn about sooner, because it has saved my bacon so much in these last, in the last, like, trying to build all this stuff between all the rocks and everything. Oy. Trying to get stuff to, see, it's like that. If you try and do it with free place or something, sometimes you can get it to snap, but it's like, I'm looking at it and it's finicky. Locally aligned, it just snaps right in. It's really cool. So, I forget who told me about that, but I know somebody did in either the comments or my Discord server or something, and it's pretty much a lifesaver. So, there's that. Let's see. I'm trying to remember. I think it's in the piston slot. Can I do... Nope, where's rotors? I need a rotor. Let me find... I need an advanced rotor, actually, because we need the conveyor slot. Again, look no further. I can't quite get it to... Okay, yeah, it's yeah, maybe I'm... Alright, that's working fine. But anyway, locally is really cool. I feel like if we put that there and then a hinge, and then it can, like, roll down, that might be enough. Either that, or we may just play it safe and slap another conveyor on here and then do a rotor. I don't like the look of that as much, but I can always play with that and get that fixed. But for now, that will work for us to get the oxygen generators up and running. And I really am contemplating moving the docking port because, let's see, this is only... If I wanted this to come up a little bit, like, I would need it to go, that's that level, 1, 2 rows higher in order to be aligned with the door. So if I basically just put, like, a piston here, especially with some of the newer, the new collision box detection that they've got going on, which is really cool, I might be able to get away with a docking port, like, right there. I don't know how the catwalk would work. I don't know how that would work, but I could get the piston to extend out far enough to dock. I just don't know if I'd have a static catwalk here, because I don't have as much room to hide or fold. Hey, I could fold it, though. If I had the... like a 1x1, right, with a connector, because, again, I'm banking on the new collision boxes. I'll probably play around with this in creative and see if it works, but if I could get a 1x1 setup here where it retracted completely inside, I may be able to get away with, like, a hinge here, or something, to where I could actually roll the catwalk down or fold it. That's an interesting idea. I'm gonna play with that. If I can get it to work, then I think we're gonna do that. But yeah, I really just want to finish this up and see if my calculations are correct and this is actually going to be airtight. I think it will be. I've surrounded all of the exposed blocks, essentially. That's done now, so that should be sealed. So I've surrounded all the areas. I didn't do the corners because I don't recall the corners being necessary for sealant. I believe as long as 2 airtight blocks are adjacent that it's sealed, so I didn't do that. But yeah, if this works, we'll actually have sealed the base. It'll be able to be pressurized, but we'll actually have... wait a minute. Oh, I might need to change that because not having a block underneath this block is causing a seam. I don't know if I care about that or not, but anyway, I need to get some more iron and some other stuff, and then, well, not more iron, more steel plates. And I'm going to work on the oxygen farm first, probably, so that it can be at least stockpiling, and then go from there. By George, I think we've done it. So, I bid you adieu to the new and improved moon base. Now, like I said, we pulled this off, and I do think it's working, that we preserved the moon rock look of everything, but it actually is sealed, which is cool, and I know this because when we do this guy and say, well, I guess I have to turn it on. First of all, there's that. It just starts filling up, which is awesome. Now, I don't think this will happen if this finds anything, so it's not letting me do anything. Now, the only thing, and I'm going to actually leave this off at the moment, is because I'm not entirely sure about these guys. My tanks are kind of filling, but they're kind of not. And I'm not sure if that's because they're trying to fill up the room first, because it has an output, but it doesn't have a, I guess it does have an input. It's like 0.02, so maybe it's just that it can take a lot more than it's outputting, so there's really nothing, you know, going on. I don't know. But the part that I'm not sure about is if we change this to be the main entrance, and that we actually put the docking bay up here, I'm gonna have to finagle this, because one thing I realized, there's no airlock here. Now, temporarily, I could just stick another door here, or put a vent there, you know, something like that, and could make it work. But I would actually like to reconfigure it a little bit to be more of a, like it has a functioning airlock type thing. There was the idea to have an elevator here, which I will probably still do at some point, so that I can go up and down to access the mine section, especially if I do move the airlock, or the docking bay up here, because then I'd kind of just be going in and out here and wouldn't really be going down to the mining area unless I was, well, mining. So my theory is I'm probably going to either build out onto the front part here and make it stick out a little bit more, and that may help me cover up some of the piston mechanics if I add the docking clamp out here. The other option is to get the elevator going and stuff, but to be quite honest, I put the elevator in as kind of a, if I eventually release this and people wanted to play it, or you wanted to, you know, you happen to not have a jetpack fuel at the moment or something like that. But realistically, I hardly ever use that lower entrance. It just kind of was a cool thing. So I'm thinking that I'm probably going to convert this into the docking bay. I may do that off camera, I might do it next episode, I'm not really sure. But this was a lot of work, and I'm happy with it, and it's done now. So we've finally got a pressurized, vented, air-sealed moon base, complete with oxygen farms and solar arrays. I will probably expand the solar array off camera if I remember to do it. And the other thing is I need to finish this guy, which I don't have anything on me at the moment. I need to finish this screen here, or possibly move it now that I've taken out that there. I may move it over so it's more aligned with the rest of the screens, so I'll probably do that. So we need to fix this screen. I haven't done the modules. I did actually have to finish these assemblers because they were leaking, so I haven't done the modules, but we did do the assemblers, so that's kind of cool. The next thing that I need to do is build a wall here to separate the processing room and make it into its own room. And I need to add another armor layer here to kind of, maybe even two, I don't know. If I'm going with the if I'm going with the way that this is already set up, then there shouldn't be space on the other side. But so I may do that. Yeah, so I think that's going to be it for this episode, though. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, and I will see you all next time. Peace.